This is QTV News. I am Mamudu Gajaga and thanks for joining us. First, the main local, business, international and sports news headlines. In the local news, the Gambia's president on Thursday paid a surprise visit to his former school in the Upper River region, reassuring the students of his support. A 4-day stakeholders retreat to review the European Union ECOWAS Regional Peacebuilding, Security and Stability Project is underway at Kiang Tendaba. 6 suspects are in custody as the Drug Law Enforcement Agency warned against drug trafficking. In business news, as tension eased between the Gambia and Senegal transport unions, we hear about twinning ceremony between the Gambia Ports Authority and Port Autonome de Dakar Staff Association. In international news, chaos and confusion in Guinea Bissau as conflicting reports emerge of the disputed presidential election. Welcome and thanks for joining us. This is QTV News. First, the local news in detail. The Gambia's president paid a surprise visit to his former school in the Upper River region on Thursday. This visit came after his visit to the Basse fire victims. Mamudu Lamin Choi is with the presidential delegation and he now files in this report.
Once a student in these classrooms, today he occupies the highest seat of state. The president has evidently not forgotten his academic roots and history. Koba Kunda Lower Basic School is part of his life story, and he pays his respect to his alma mater. Teachers, students, and the school's authorities give a rousing welcome to the president before he's taken on a tour of classrooms. The president appears in a nostalgic frame of mind, and the first classroom visited is where he found himself around 40 years ago under the instruction and direction of teachers. The president recollects all memories of his life in the school, including his seriousness in class and positive relationship with his former principal and teachers.
I was very close to my teachers. Definitely. It's not praising myself, but I was very humble. You understand? And teachers used to like me a lot. Yeah, because I was very, very obedient. I was very, very disciplined. I've never been punished like other students. You know, teachers were my friend. But the first teacher that encouraged me here was Mariama Kamara. Mariama Kamara, yes. When I came, she was my first teacher. I came in the middle of the term. But when they started exam, I came 6th. That's the moment she noticed me. I became her friend. She encouraged me until I ended up in the hands of Musa Jallo. So I was encouraged by teachers to get to this level.
This is the school where President Adama Barrow got his primary school education. Mr. Barrow is proud to be in his former school, saying that there is where everything started for him, and he tells his story with pride and delight.
I'm very, very proud to be back in this school. I'm proud because I started from here. Who would have thought that a poor boy from a poor school will become president of this country? But it was destined to happen. I took it that way. It's destiny, but you will never forget what are your roots. You don't forget your history. You don't forget where you start from. This is where I started. That's why today I said I should pass by and see the school, come to my former class and see where I was and see, look at the environment.
Imparting words of inspiration to the students, the president advises them to be disciplined and hardworking in their academic endeavors, also assuring them that the sky is the limit, for they are the future leaders of the country.
You have been given the opportunity. And there is a saying, opportunity comes once. Make good use of the opportunity you have. The sky is the limit for you. If you are serious, you are focused. And we are very proud of you. So you have very, very smart. So we encourage you, keep it up.
The president visits the school's garden, to which he was once a contributor, recalling that he was a farmer until he became a president. The school principal thanks President Barrow for his support to the school by attracting donors to refurbish and rebuild the school. Koba Kunda School today stands as one of the biggest schools in the Upper River region. Supported by the MRC Holland Foundation, the school now has upper and senior classes. The president promises to inaugurate the expanded school as soon as possible. For QTV News in Basse Upper River Region, I am Modlamin Choi.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's Commissioner for West Coast Region on Monday briefed QTV on the agency's latest arrest of 6 suspected drug dealers who were found in possession of 139 bundles of suspected cannabis. QTV's Ansumane Sonyasi reports.
Weighing 120 kilograms, 415 grams, these 139 bundles of suspected cannabis are said to have been seized from 7 suspects, one of whom is at large, while the remaining 6 are currently in custody and are helping the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in the West Coast region with their investigations. Maulud Fall is the Drug Law Enforcement Agency's Commissioner for West Coast region. He told QTV that the suspects were arrested in different locations after members of the agency's surveillance team were tipped off.
And some of the suspects, these are Senegalese. We have 3 of them, including the one who is at large. You know, these people were coming all the way from Casamance on transit to the other region of Senegal. And then when we have this tip-up, we mounted an investigation and we were able to arrest them in the bush late at night.
While warning young people against trafficking of illicit drugs, Commissioner Fall calls for concerted effort to eradicate the menace of drug trafficking and its related issues in the country.
For the youth, it is our responsibilities to guard the youth jealously. For the fact that the youths are the future leader of the country, and anything that is going to destroy the youth of this country, we will make all efforts to make sure that the youths are jealously guided. The advice I have for them, let them do away from these drug activities, because it is not good for them and it is not good for the country as at large.
He warned owners of compounds and vehicles to be vigilant in assessing the kind of people that they give their rent accommodation or give their vehicles to, adding that some are using it as a means of transporting cannabis and other illegal items. However, he adds that his men are always prepared to arrest any suspected traffickers of illicit drugs. Antoine Esonyasi for QTV News.
38 volunteers, including students, have arrived in the Gambia from Holland as part of the Go for Africa Foundation internship program. The volunteers will spend 7 weeks in the country teaching technical subjects at various schools. Babukar Sise reports.
Traveling on 16 cars, these 38 volunteers left Holland on the 2nd of February and arrived in the Gambia 3 weeks later, passing through Belgium, France, Spain, Morocco and the Atlas Mountains, Mauritania and the Sahara Desert, and through Senegal to reach their final destination, Banjul. The experience offers volunteers an innovative, adventurous way of carrying out their internship projects. Speaking to QTV, the director of Go for Africa, Zhuang Hasinga, explains about the trip and engagement.
We are here now with 16 cars and 38 people, and 28 of them are students. Those students, they will work on different schools here in the Combo area, but also in the middle of Gambia, and they will upgrade the technical level of the schools. All the materials we have sent by container, and with the help of those materials and the knowledge of those students, we try to upgrade the technical level of those schools. And at the end of the internship, we like to donate those cars to schools and bush hospitals.
Alaji Saho, Go for Africa country rep, says the cars will be donated to hospitals to be used as ambulances, government departments and other institutions. He adds that the volunteers will be teaching Gambian students car maintenance at various technical institutions and schools including GTTI, St. Peter's, Mindau and Armitage High School, amongst others. The student volunteers say the journey was a good experience for them and that they are ready to start internship work at various technical schools.
It was a great experience to come here. I have enjoyed the rise, and we have a lot of things that we have done when we driving to here, and it was nice. Now we are here, and we go 7 weeks to schools to learn children things in the metal technique, and I hope I can learn them something.
We had a great trip. From the moment we entered Morocco, it was really nice. A lot of sand. We drove with 4 cars straight through the desert, slept there. Had a real good experience on that. Good food, sometimes a little bit ill. It was bad sometimes, but we're here, we're healthy, and we 7 weeks of giving the students lessons.
Babkar Sise, QTV News.
Child Fund International de Gambia have donated over 26,000 textbooks to the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and local partners. This story by Lamin Dabo is narrated by Jennifer Sonko.
The textbooks were given to Child Fund by a UK charitable foundation, Brothers, and then to MOPSI for onward distribution to school libraries within the West Coast, Lower River, North Bank and Upper River regions to promote and encourage a reading culture in schools. Child Fund International, the Gambia's country director, Musukuta Koma, explains the impact the donated textbooks will have on the lives of school children.
These textbooks will make a huge difference in many ways. We are of the belief that they will help both school libraries with books on different subjects, keep children and teachers engaged, promote research, help nourish the minds of students and their teachers, as well as make them responsive to the fast-changing dynamics of the world today, particularly in the sciences.
The manager for Dinding Yuruwa Federation, Aliu Mendy, calls on parents and teachers to continue inculcating discipline in children.
The asset of Africans in particular is your children. This is why we invest on them, we give them the education, the health and whatever that they actually need. So it is their responsibility definitely to learn and make the best use of the support that they are getting from their families. Currently we are laboring a lot on child rights and all what's not to make sure that those children are happy and they learn. But sometimes we overlook the issue of discipline. In as much as we labor with the fact that children should not be subjected to corporal punishment, but they should also be subjected to high level of discipline. A disciplined society is a progressing society. A disciplined society is a society that ventures into development, and therefore the country will be at peace.
Mara Batubaji, a senior education officer from the Services Directorate under the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, says, in education, everybody is a stakeholder in striving to acquire quality education.
So many times we would agree out that children are not performing well in schools, but quality is very embedded. We have so many factors embedded in the attainment of quality education. And one of them, which is key, is the teaching and learning resources, and specifically textbooks. And if Child Fund should come with this great intervention in supporting education, I think it's a very laudable effort.
Child Fund International de Gambia promotes the well-being of children and their families by supporting the deprived, excluded and vulnerable children. The organization recently introduced the Dream Readers Project, which encourages and promotes the culture of reading among school-going children. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko.
We will go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, in business news, as tension eased between the Gambia and Senegal transport unions, we hear about a twinning ceremony between the Gambia Port Authority and Port Autonome de Dakar Staff Association. In international news, we hear about the ongoing electoral chaos in Guinea Bissau. Join us after the break for these stories, sports news and more.
Oh yes! QCell has exhausted the number 3 series, the 50, 51, 52 and 53 number series. We are expanding and introducing another new number series starting with 58 and 59. With the 58 and 59 numbers, you can call any QCell number for the same on-net charges. You get the same great service at the exact same charges offered to numbers in the 3, 50, 51, 52 and 53 series. The family is even bigger now. For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow. Right time, right place, right price. Promote your product, business, and brand to millions of viewers nationwide or across the globe. Call QTV Marketing on 32-44444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm for all your advertisement needs. QTV Gambia, right place.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us. This is QTV News. Now in business news, a twinning ceremony between the Gambia Ports Authority and Port Autonome de Dakar Staff Association took place on Friday at a local hotel. The aim is to strengthen bilateral ties and cooperation between the two institutions. Babukar C has more details.
A delegation from Senegal is in the country to strengthen the already existing relationship between the Gambia Ports Authority and Staff Association of Port Autonome de Dakar. The two associations signed a memorandum of understanding which aims to enhance the already existing relationship between the two. Alaji Cherno Sise, Deputy Managing Director of the Gambia Ports Authority, tells us more about the importance of the signing ceremony.
This cooperation has been going on since 1976, and to date we can boast of some achievements in that the two ports have collaborated in so many occasions, especially at the international level, particularly in the area of elections to positions at international level, whereby the two ports have cooperated very well. Another level is the interport cooperation in training aspect of the cooperation that we have signed. Both ports have been enjoying that fruitfully. The Gambia Ports Authority has on many occasions sent staff to the Port of Dakar to undergo some training, and we have seen the benefits because ports operate in different ways. We've been to Dakar, got some best practices, and which at the level of the port we are trying to adapt.
Abdul Hamid Si, head of the delegation from Senegal, said the MOU will play an important role in bringing the two institutions and the country closer in business, particularly dealing with exports and imports.
The idea is to try and build a strong and everlasting relationship between the two institutions. We want to reach a level where even the cashew farmer in Casamas, instead of traveling all the way to Dakar to access the ports, would go to the Banjul ports, and vice versa. The relationship between the two institutions has been existing since the 70s, but we are taking it to another level by involving our male and female staff associations to come as one and do a lot of positive things together.
The president of the Gambia Ports Authority Staff Association, Mbai Jeng, described the event as a historic moment.
The accord that was signed between the Gambia Ports Authority and the Port of Dakar, Port Autonome de Dakar, was done in 1977, and today the signing of this partnership is in line with the action plan signed on that day, which was renewed in 19 March 2019. Today, the twinning of these two sister staff associations are in line with that accord as action plan, and which both staff associations are ready to acknowledge and work hand in glove.
With the recent transport problems between the Gambia and Senegal, the MOU signing between the two institutions will serve as a reminder that the Gambia and Senegal have a lot in common and that promoting the free movement of people, goods and services is paramount. Babukar Si, QTV News.
Now to international news. The only thing certain about Guinea-Bissau's recent presidential election is the uncertainty. After claims of fraud and legal challenges over the declared result, all seem to have been resolved. Except this being Guinea-Bissau, things are never that simple. After touring various countries as president-elect, even as his victory was being challenged, Omar Sissoco Embalo has now announced that he will be inaugurated president today, the 28th of February, at a local hotel in the capital, Bissau. There is now an unprecedented standoff between the Electoral Commission and the country's Supreme Court. The latter had ordered a recount of the votes cast in the presidential runoff. However, the Electoral Commission appears to have simply ignored the court's decision in publishing a result. Embalo's main opponent in the election runoff, Domingos Simoes Pereira, is still refusing to concede defeat. And now to the latest sports news. Let's join my colleague Aliou Cisse. Aliou, what is happening in the world of sports?
Thank you very much, Gajaga. Well, a developing story because 31-year-old Portuguese Rui Pinto, who actually created the Football League's website, which provided some of the evidences which led to Manchester City's ban, and of course other investigation into tax evasion and corruption in football, has been found with a hard drive's password in his head. Actually, Pinto is still awaiting trial for alleged violations of secrecy and illegally accessing information despite being extradited to his homeland from Hungary in March 2019. And now to Europa football, because the draw has been made for the last 16, and Manchester United will face Austrian league leaders Lask FC in the last 16 of the Europa League. Of course, fellow Premier League side Wolves will face Olympiacos, who knocked out Arsenal to reach to this stage. And Scottish Premiership outfit Rangers will face former winners Bayern Leverkusen. 5 times championship Sevilla face Roma. Another Spanish-Italian duel sees Inter Milan that in the Serie A up against Getafe. So that's all for the sports news, Kajak.
Just before you go, Ali, interesting story about Rui Pinto from Portugal. He is the one who, co-founded the website that is Football Leagues, with classified information. And I think some of the investigations that he did about the emails, the transactions about international football really helped or triggered UEFA investigating Manchester City, and they found them wanting for some financial fair play regulations that they violated. And now they're in trouble. They've been banned for 2 years in the Champions League, which of course they have a big legal battle to challenge the decision of UEFA. They said they would go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. But now, working on this information, which is good for football, but now finding himself in trouble being charged.
Yes, quite interesting, and that really shows you that Pinto, despite the fact that Man City is denying the evidences provided against the club, now that they have also launched an appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sports, Pinto is still defiant. He still believes he has a lot to reveal as far as the issue of Man City and other tax evasion and corruption in football is concerned. So for him, he believes he's out to clean up football and to fight anything that has to do with corruption and of course tax evasion as far as this beautiful game of football is concerned. So he's not really moved by any attempt to silence him or to make him let go what he has started. So for him, he's still focused on exposing all sort of corruption in football and of course other sectors beyond football.
Thank you very much. That was Aliou Cisse giving us the analysis on Rui Pinto, who masterminded the Manchester City big saga as far as European football is concerned. Before we end this bulletin of the news, let's have a quick look at our main news stories. In the local news, the Gambia's president on Thursday paid a surprise visit to his former school in the Upper River region, reassuring the students of his support. A 4-day stakeholders retreat to reviewed the European Union ECOWAS Regional Peacebuilding, Security and Stability Project is underway at Kiang Tendaba. 6 suspects are in custody as the Drug Law Enforcement Agency warned against drug trafficking. In business news, as tension eased between the Gambia and Senegal transport unions, we hear about a twinning ceremony between the Port Authority of the Gambia and Port Autonome de Dakar Staff Association. In international news, chaos and confusion in Guinea Bissau as conflicting reports emerge of the disputed presidential election. That's all we have for you in this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Have a pleasant night.